So I think, and I'm biased, that I live in a very nice part of the country. And one of the nice parts about living where I live, in Salisbury, down south, is kind of fairly quickly in your journey home, you get a little reminder that you're nearly there. You're nearly home, as it were. So on most of the roads into Salisbury, you can see sort of towering above the city itself is the cathedral. You can probably see it right in front of me now. So on the majority of the roads into Salisbury, or as I am, on most of the roads going home, you can see the cathedral from quite a distance away, because I think it's got the biggest spire, the tallest spire in the country, I think, maybe. I'm sure somebody will put me right. Yeah, so that's quite a nice bit about it. I suppose the issue with it being Salisbury is that it's got a cathedral. It's a city. It's got city status, but it hasn't got city infrastructure. So the roads are a bit shitty. Yeah, and I suppose like a lot of places with roads that don't match the sort of visitor numbers and the other stuff, it can get quite congested here, especially when they're doing something to something. So if they're putting something in or changing something or upgrading something, then it gets even worse. Yeah, so when you're travelling back to Salisbury, all of the joy you get from seeing the cathedral spire welcoming you home is normally short-lived, because you're sat in traffic. Let's go and have a look at the cathedral. See it in a bit more of its glory. It's quite, it's impressive, isn't it? If you back when it was built, if you lived next door to it in your house made of mud and twigs, God, you'd believe there was a God, wouldn't you? If you saw that, there's definitely a God. If he's got that much money, he must be a god. So we're going into the city centre now, to Salisbury city centre. So the cathedral's on our left. This is all schools and stuff, sort of re-emphasising the money sort of side of it. I think they're all private schools. So as ever, there's bus loads of coaches here. Right, so we're gonna go into the cathedral. Obviously not in it, because we're on a bike. That'll be pushing it. We're going to go into the grounds. The problem with going into the grounds of the cathedral is it's run by the cathedral police, or the Friends of the Cathedral. I mean, I'm not saying I need one of those little fish, newborn Christian kind of things on my bike, but you've got to have a reason for coming to the cathedral, and I will be interrogated, so I might have to lie about my intentions. Just going to tell him I'm driving through, see what he says. Yeah, it's going to interrogate him now. What do you want? How long are you going to be here for? What are you doing? What business do you have in the cathedral? She obviously hasn't got a good enough alibi. Oh, she's bribing him. She's bribed him. Just driving through. No, just riding through. I'm just riding through.
You're not supposed to.
I'm just going to... I've got a friend of mine who used to live here.
Right.
This was his favourite place, so I'm just going to film it for him and send him it, because he's weird.
Just letting you know, because it's private land, it's not...
Yeah, no, I'd only do it because I'm...
Mind the spikes down the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a bit of quick thinking. See? Yeah, so this is where very posh people live, and there's a couple of military museums here as well. But it's a very nice place to be. I've got my 7-year-old daughter. This is her favourite place, not the play park or not some sort of soft play area or not the swimming pool. This is where she loves to be. She loves to be in the cathedral. One of her favourite places. And I'm it's a well-known fact that I'm not religious at all. But when you consider if you were faced with that, you would probably turn religious, if you were used to the god of twigs and then you saw that thing, you might think, well, these people might have something here. So this is a good place to be. Maybe they're not allowed on the pavement. Maybe that's part of house rules. No use of the pavement allowed. Yeah, so that's Salisbury Cathedral. I suppose let's go and see one of the things that Salisbury's famous for. And I suppose weirdly, the other thing that Salisbury's famous for isn't actually in Salisbury. We've done the modern religion. Now we're going to go and look at two henges. They're two henges. The first one is made of stone. Now, I'm not entirely sure what a henge is, but I'm fairly sure I was once told that this henge made of stone isn't an actual henge. Yeah, so we're going to look at the first one. There's a bit of controversy about this at the moment, actually, because they're talking about digging a tunnel. So we're on the 303 now, which is a hideous road. Well, it's not a hideous road. There's too many hideous cars on this nice scenic road. That's the actual issue. There's too many of these crazy car drivers on this road. You know, it's volume of traffic, single carriageway. It does go to a dual carriageway. So this way is normally better than the other way, because the other way is dual carriageway coming to a single carriageway. So this way is normally better. When you get over the brow of the hill, we'll see the henge that is made of stone. And I'm not sure if people are slowing down to look at it, or if there's any kind of traffic knocking about there. But it can be a bit annoying. Nice drivers like that who let you out. Yeah, so they're looking at building a tunnel, digging a tunnel that would kind of reclaim this land for the for Stonehenge. And I suppose the point of that is, so I used to live down the back of Stonehenge, and one of my running routes used to take me to the field the other side of Stonehenge. And in the summer, when it was really, really hot, you could see what looked like the remains of a road where I used to run, and there was a little plaque on its own in the field that I used to run in that no one was near, and that told me that the place where I was running, that little road bit, was the path that the stones took from the river. There's a river nearby, and the path that stones took, which, when you think about it, is a fairly massive thing, and it's hidden on the other side of a road. So they reclaimed that road. So the road that used to run up to the side of Stonehenge is gone. That's now just grass, and they want to take this back, because I suppose the stones themselves are part of the bigger landscape. So the other bits and pieces, they all tie together, and this road kind of cuts into it. So that's what they want to try and do, is get rid of this road. For Stonehenge, for that thing there. Now I don't have an issue with that. If you're going to change this into a dual carriageway, then good, do it. But, who is to say that that pile of stones isn't, or yeah, what's to say that pile of stones is more important than this road? Because this is, this is part of the Foss Way and stuff, and this has been here, if we're going by, age and stuff, this has been here longer than the stones have been here. So, if you're going by significance, this road has probably done more for every single race that's been to, that's conquered England. This road has been a massive part of that. So I think, who's to say that the road isn't as important, if not more important, than Stonehenge? I think it's worth considering. We're going to see another henge now, which is just over there, and the henge made of stone, or as you might know it, Stonehenge, that's got its own visitor centre and coach park and touristy bits, and I'm sure you can buy a little clay replica of the stones if that's how you feel. So there is an industry set up around the stones, and it's part of our heritage, but at the end of the day, it is just a pile of stones that was put there to worship the sun and stuff. It was put there to worship stuff because we couldn't work out why bad things happened. That's I suppose the key to it, isn't it? We couldn't work out why children were dying, why crops were failing, why disease happened. We couldn't quite work out why it was happening, so we thought to ourselves, there must be something controlling it, a god type figure, so if we pray to that god type figure, we'll be better off. So those stones are put there through stupidity. Yeah, so there's another place we go to now. Anyway, over there is Woodhenge. It's like Stonehenge, but it's made of wood. I suppose my point is, who's to say that Woodhenge is less important than Stonehenge? But as you can see, Woodhenge, there isn't a visitor centre. You can't buy a replica of Woodhenge or anything like that. It's just there with a dodgy car park. So you see, because Stonehenge has got the money behind it, people are bothered about it, and I suppose that's the issue. End of the day, these things all boil down to who's got the deepest pockets. So what have we seen? We've seen a cathedral, and we've seen Stonehenge and Woodhenge. And I suppose those are the things to come to Salisbury for. Oh shit, okay, so I've just given you a religious tour of Salisbury when I'm the least religious person in the world. Maybe not in the world. Yeah, God. Come to Salisbury. Come to Salisbury and look at all the things we used to do when we were stupid or lacked scientific research. There, that's it. Salisbury's good for that. If you want to go to London, well, if you want to go somewhere where you can see all the stuff we stole when we sailed the seven seas, yeah, do that. If you want to come and look at the evolution of stupidity, come to Salisbury. You can see it right through from mud huts.